Well, I've been going for a couple of hours now and doing my best. It's when I say it's not easy, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. But the problem is there's nowhere to sit, and I've managed to find this wall, and I must have been walking now for a couple of hours at least. So yeah, just nearly on 2 hours. And there's a bus that's leaving this place called Auchenmalg or something like that, which is only about 9 miles away from Port William where I've been here. And it's a great walk. It's blowing behind me quite strongly. I can't get many good shots, and if I'm to be honest with you, the shots that I can get are of either the sea on the left or the high steep hills on the right, on my right hand side. So it all looks very much the same, and I've said it before, absolutely stunning, and it's brilliant to be out here. But apart from what I've as described, there's not a great deal else going on. There are a few houses, but not that many. And when I get round this corner, I've got a feeling that things are going to change quite dramatically. And I'm edging nearer and nearer Stranraer now. I just stopped and I was talking to a couple of cyclists who were very nice people. They were from Southport, and they were saying don't expect much of Stranraer. It's a very commercial sort of port and all the rest of it, but there are some wonderful places around it. I'm sorry if the wind might be blowing down into the camera as well, but you can see there's no shelter, there's nothing, there's nowhere to sit, so I'm making the very best of this as I can. And when I find a place to stop, I was talking to a couple of guys actually at the bus stop before I left, just to check the timetable, but they were saying they knew the times, and they said if you get down there for about 1:30, there's a bus to get me back down there. So I've got loads of time. That's not a problem. I just didn't want to sit around in my camper van all day. I gave my feet a really good do this morning. I had a real good tidy up, but I just didn't fancy sitting there. But the good thing is they've got I had to go slightly out of Port William to find it, but there's a school there and a little lay-by, and it's perfect internet, so I'll be probably, if I can't find any up here, at least I know where to go back to without having to go all the way back to where I was last night. I left there this morning and drove up here, and that was a good move as well. So I'll speak to you later. I'll speak to you later. So I've arrived here, and this is a pub called the Cock Inn, and they seem busy with lunches and all that sort of stuff. Not many people around. This is like almost like a caravan site kind of place, and there's hundreds and hundreds of vans and everything. I haven't had a chance to have a look yet. I've only just arrived. I feel quite hot. It's beautiful out there, but there's a really nice backwind all the way, which made it quite difficult to get shots behind me, so I was a bit limited to getting shots to my left or my right, apart from the road, and they were more or less all the same the whole way. Not much variation at all. Not many houses, or sheep or goats or cows or anything, so it's I've kept it to its absolute minimum today. You wouldn't want to be seeing just me walking along a road and step by step. And it makes a good start for tomorrow. All I need to do now is just check to see if they've got the internet here. And if they haven't, I'll have to go back again to Port William, back to the school at the top of the hill, which is where I parked this morning when I decided to have a rest, but got bored and decided to come out and do some walking. And I'm really glad I did. I couldn't have stood it in there much longer. But I gave my feet a really good do, and my toenails clipped, and I got my Listerine out with my hot water, which always works, and my feet feel magnificent. And I've strolled through this walk. I could have done much further, but I choose to just hang on to the miles yet, because it could be awkward as from tomorrow, and also meaning that I'm going to have to walk along the A75 all the way into Stranraer. Quite what I'm going to do when I get to Stranraer, I'm not sure, but I'll see if I can find myself a Tesco car park, which is always a useful thing, plus the fact they've got all the food I need, toilets, they've got a they'll probably have a restaurant, even though I thoroughly enjoy cooking my own breakfast because it's in need of having to at the moment. But it is nice to have my breakfast made for me from time to time. So that's it. I'm just waiting for the bus now. I'm not sure. I reckon I've got about another 20 minutes, half an hour yet. I've wrote it down, but I know it's in the bottom of my rucksack, and I'll find it later. Good afternoon. Well, it's 6:30 now. I've had a really nice, easy day. When I got back from my walk, I got into bed and had a couple of hours sleep, which I really needed. I didn't have such a good night last night, and the walk was great. And I didn't even get a sweat on, if you understand what I mean. It was warm, but there was a nice breeze, and it was an absolutely pleasant, really lovely walk. The kind of thing I've been looking forward to, certainly through the month of May, where it's been a disaster, the weather, for most people, certainly me. And it's been a disaster in that it's really caused me massive problems because there's been no sunshine. My solar power has been redundant, and now the sun's shining, it's starting to charge the batteries, which is going to take away an awful lot of the problems which I've been really seriously struggling with. And it's meant that I've been doing lots and lots of editing sometimes till 11 o'clock on the night to try and keep up, and hopefully you can keep up with me. But what I want to just say very briefly is, for all the people, particularly on Facebook, that's on my ordinary Jim Hawkins page, and also on the Jim's Coastal Path walk around the UK, of which there are 2,780 of you. Most of you I've met, and I know you're not all, computer experts, but this is a very simple thing that I may suggest to you if you want to see more films rather than just the one of the day. In other words, day south, West Coast day 15, West Coast day 16, because they appear every day. But if you want to open up and see more films, or if you want to watch the East Coast, or if you want to watch the Southwest Coastal Path, or if you want to watch the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path, or all the walks that I did in 2018 and 19, well, it's so easy to do. And there are lots of other films on there as well. There's our big adventure where we went across the Atlantic in a small boat to Antigua. There's the Jim and Trish episodes, of which there are 59 episodes, which more or less tells the story of Trish and I. There's the Narrowboat Holiday, which features Trish's dad Harry and myself and Trish, and we went on this cruise on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. That was in 2017, and incidentally that film has been watched by over 150,000 people now, I'm talking about the whole 7 days, if not more. I know episode 2, which features 94-year-old Harry at the time, his first experience of driving a 60 feet narrowboat into a lock, and at 94 it didn't faze him, and he did it really well. There's lots of other things as well. There's all the interviews that I did with all the people on the walk in 2018 and 19. There's a whole episode devoted to them. There's also during lockdown last year, when strictly speaking I shouldn't have done it, but I did. I walked the full length of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, which is 127 miles, and that's worth a watch. And I know a lot of you people are into narrowboats and all that kind of stuff. Well, you might enjoy actually the walk along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, which opens your eyes to lots of other things that you don't notice while you're cruising. And so that's just to say to you, that is available to you. And my membership has gone up quite a lot. The number of subscribers I've got has gone up quite a lot, and I just want to kind of open up. It's not just one thing at a time. There's more to my walking experience than just simply walking this stage of the last stage of my 5,000 mile walk around the UK. I did 4,300 miles during 2018 and 2019, and this is the last part. And I reckon it's going to last maybe another couple of months at least, and I'll be finishing up in John O'Groats, where I finished at the end of September 2019. Sorry about the lighting, I can't do anything about this because the sun's shining brightly behind me. If I was to open the door, it would put me in shadow, so I've had to put a bulb in my, you know, just to make it so you can see me. And the other thing is, in my viewfinder, I'm upside down, so I'm guessing that I'm in the right place, but all that's irrelevant, it doesn't really matter anyway. But what I really want to say is thank you very much indeed for all your massive support, all of you. I've had some absolutely wonderful friendships develop, and you know, I've been corresponding with lots and lots of people, messages, and we've become friends, and people who have been with me more or less from the very start of this. I know today's film was a little bit short, it was short of 20 minutes, so I'm just filling it out a little bit, but I thought it's important to just let you know that there is an awful lot more than just the west coast of Scotland. It's there, it's available, and I really hope you enjoy it. And just one last point, just please remember to click subscribe, and that gives you an opportunity to look at the films as well, and also gives you a signal that tells you that I've put another film on, so you know that you don't have to search. And it's been a real pleasure doing this. I'm enjoying it. I've had my down times. I was a little bit stressed yesterday when I was having big problems with my my batteries, and the sun is shining on them brightly now, and it's improving day by day. But it's going to take a couple of weeks of good weather to actually put some real energy back in those batteries. And what that means is, because they haven't got the batteries are not holding the charge, so I have to start my engine up on the van so that it charges off the generator. That charges the batteries, and that's costing me quite a lot of money actually, because it's all diesel that I wouldn't normally use, and that's probably the thing that I'm spending the most money on. Not Stella or anything like that, or breakfasts. I'm cooking my own breakfast now. There isn't a Tesco for miles from here, and I enjoy cooking my own breakfast, and I know one or two people have commented about how nice it looks. Well, when I go to Stranraer, which will be in a couple of days time, I'm going to go to Tesco and restock. I've more or less eaten all the food that I brought with me from Manchester. All that's nearly all gone now, and so I'll be doing a big shop and getting myself sorted out. So thanks very much to everybody. Lovely to know that you're there and giving me the support, and all the messages mean such a lot to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.